Hello, everybody. So right now we're about to go live as well as on the phone conference. This week is internal love. We are doing a do-over from last week because my Facebook Live kept on going down on me, and I didn't want to give a chopped up message, so I decided to do the same message from last week in its entirety. So bear with me a little bit. I'm about to start it. I'm going to give it like 2 more minutes since I have some people still on the line that may be coming in, as well as the viewers. But thank you again for tuning in to I Choose Me, No More Excuses. Thank you for being a part of the movement. Hey, boo. So now moving forward before I begin.
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the I Choose Me movement, No More Excuses. And once again, I said this week we're talking about internal love. Now, before we start, I love to start with the pledge, which is I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow. And that is what the I Choose Me, No More Excuses idea is all about. It's about loving ourselves, inspiring ourselves, encouraging ourselves, and helping ourselves grow to whatever level it would take us to grow to live in our true purpose, to live in our, I don't know if anybody has read The Alchemist, but to walk in your personal legend. That's what life is all about, discovering yourself and being your best self so that you can bring your best self to the table. So before we start, I like to go on definitions, and since we're doing internal love, I want to give you the definition of love. Love is an intense feeling of deep affection. Synonym is fineness, tenderness, warmth, intimacy, attachment, and endearment. Hold on one second, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know what happened to the thing. What happened? Anyway, moving right along. I'm sorry about that. So we had love, which is an intense feeling of deep affection. Synonyms for that are fineness, tenderness, warmth, intimacy, attachment, and endearment. So basically what you're saying is that when you love someone or when you love yourself, it is a fondness of yourself. That means you think highly of yourself. You're tender with yourself. That means you treat yourself on a level in which you deserve to be treated. You're very humble with yourself. You're warm with yourself. That means you're endearing. You're intimate with yourself. That means you know yourself to the core. You know yourself like nobody knows you. And then you have that attachment. And that's, when you're in love with somebody, you're attached to them. That's an attachment. So what I wanted to talk about is, before I move on, I had got this bracelet from Alex and Annie. I don't know how many of you guys know what Alex and Annie is, but with those bracelets, they come with a card. And so I had a love bracelet, and I kind of love the card. So I wanted to share what the Alex and Annie definition of love was. We have love, which is affection, joy, and light. And their definition is, love is the greatest virtue of all. It is at the root of all good things. All humans thrive in a loving environment, and whenever love is in the equation, happiness results. So do you understand what that means? This is why I'm saying that I choose me, no more excuses about loving yourself. See, anything that which is given love, anything that which is nurtured, it grows. And so I'm trying to get everybody to understand that if you would love yourself, if you would nurture yourself, then you will grow to the level in which you see your life, into the level in which you have desires to go. You have to love yourself through the pain. You have to love yourself on a higher level. And so in order to grow you, you got to love yourself. And so if you're not internally loving who you are, if you're not spending time with yourself to create this relationship with yourself, to know what you like, what you don't like, know who you can take around you, who you can't take around. You have to know yourself 306, like in a full circle. You have to know everything about yourself so that you can be your best self. If you don't do that, then you forfeit the opportunity to grow at the level in which you should be growing, because you're lacking that love, that nurturing, that sun in your life. Now, that's why loving yourself is so important, which is what I was saying. And you have to choose yourself daily. There shouldn't be one day that you haven't waken up and done something special for you. Whether it was, I took 5 minutes for myself today because I had a full day and I realized that I was just outside of my character. I can feel myself shifting. And so because I know myself enough, I decided to embrace the moment, to pull myself away from wherever I'm going through and nurture me. Make sure that I'm okay. Because like I said, and like everybody says, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so in order to be the best you, in order to be the best mom, the best friend, the best child, whatever it is that you're trying to be the best at, you will never succeed if you haven't poured into yourself, if you haven't loved yourself, if you haven't built yourself where you're supposed to be able to withstand the journey, withstand the ride, withstand the heartaches, the pain, everything that we go through. In order for us to reach those levels, we got to love ourselves. It gives us a foundation to withstand any trials and tribulation, anything that we're going through. It gives us the right to know ourselves. Now, do daily affirmations of encouragement in the areas that pull at your heart. What I mean by daily affirmations of encouragement, I mean, you know where you're hurting at. You know where you fall short at. You know what you've been through. And so in order for you to heal yourself on a level in which you should be healed, what I think you should do is you have to confirm with yourself daily how special you are, how important you are, how worthy you are, and how your journey, it requires you to show up for you to take this journey where you need to go. If there's things in your life that are holding you back, if there's things in your life that you see yourself doing, you are going to have to meet yourself on the journey of loving yourself so that you can have the skill set to be able to move on in your life in the way in which you should be moving. You know what and where you are in need of support, so support yourself. And so what I'm telling you to do is be your best friend. Support yourself. When you feel like you have nobody else there, support yourself. Show up for yourself. Be that love. Be that understanding. Be whatever it is that you're looking for. You can show up and be that, because nobody knows you better than you. And so if you can show up and be who you want to be, if you can show up and encourage yourself, if you can show up and just acknowledge that there are certain things that you're in need of, then you can grow to the levels that I'm telling you that you are capable of going to. So sometimes we go through things in private because we like to appear to be strong, or we may be embarrassed. We may have some shame. It can be from yesterday or years ago. The pain is all the same. It takes the same pieces out of you no matter when the hurt occurred. So take a risk from yourself before you take a risk on others. And so all I'm saying is that you don't have to have shame with yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to yourself. You get you. You understand why you made the decisions you made that maybe other people don't. You understand why certain things kind of broke you down in life that maybe other people don't understand, because they don't know how you're built. You have to know how you're built. You have to embrace how you're built. And in order to be able to love yourself through those things, you have to show up for you and understand that I'm enough. I'm worthy. It doesn't matter what I've been through yesterday. I know my heart. I know what challenges have came into my life. I know what kept me focused. I know what made me who I am today, and I love me for that. And so that's what I'm saying. See, this love thing is so important, because anything that which is love, you can see the results. You can see the growth. So I want you to love you so that you can grow to the level in which you desire, which you deserve. You can only be you and no one else. So true. And so that's why I'm saying that you got to know who you are. You have to know who you are in order to be your best self. You have to know who you are in order to bring that peace that the world is waiting for. You got to know who you are in order to bring that peace in the circle that is waiting for you to show up. And those friends that are waiting for you to show up. In all the different areas of your life where you need you to show up for, I need you to deep down, reach down in yourself and internalize the love that you have, that you're sharing with the world. Turn it inside. Because if all of us loved ourselves on a level in which we deserve, which we are worthy of, and we all began to love ourselves on that level, what we would do we would make room for all the great things that we inspire, all the great things that we wish we had, all the great things that make us great. When you make a decision for you, you have no regrets. Absolutely. I love that you say that, Nakia, because that's the bottom line. At the end of the day, when you begin to make choices and decisions that you chose to do from your heart because you knew you, then whatever the results are, it removes the regrets. It removes the shame, because most of the time we regret things because we knew better. You know, we didn't follow our instinct, or you know, somebody showed us something and we didn't want to believe it. And you know what they say when how Maya Angelou say, when people show you who they are, believe them. Sometimes we are so caught up in the love we have for somebody else that we forget about the love we have for ourselves. So we're willing to change and make people be happy. We're willing to do whatever it takes to show up for somebody else and love them on a level in which they require us to do, and we forget about us. We forget about who's the most important part of our life. We forget about who we really have the control over. You don't get to control nobody but you, even your children. Even your children, you got a small time to control their future. You got a small time to influence their decisions. And so that's why it's about showing up with love. We must love selves before we can love others. Bottom line. And thank you, Faye Ma. Thank you for that, because that's what it all boils down to. You have got to love yourself in order to be able to be capable of loving somebody else. I was saying that last week when we kept on getting knocked in and out of the Facebook Live. If you don't love you, if you don't value you, nobody's going to treat you on the level in which you want them to. You teach people how to treat you. So you got to show up for yourself, and you got to love yourself. Yes, yes, yes. I said, if you suffer from holding things inside, that's even more reason to take time with yourself, because you can be with you with no apologies. If there's things going on in your life where you feel like, I don't even want to be outside, I'm going through stuff, I don't want it to come out wrong. If you got all these things going on, these are more reasons why yourself is waiting for you to nurture you. The greatest is love God, then neighbor as self. Right. So how can you love your neighbor as self if you never first practice to love yourself? If you haven't internalized. See, people spend so much time on the outside, and because it's what people see, and we want to make sure the representation of what people see is always up to par. But what about what you see? What about what you see when you look in the mirror? Why is that not important? Why is that not the best gift you can give yourself, which is looking at yourself, being authentic with yourself, embracing yourself? And if there are things in your life that you are not happy with, then you change them. If there are things in your life that doesn't bring you joy, if there are things in your life that you neglect, if there are things in your life that you wish you could do different, guess what? You get to do it different. It's your life. You control your life. And so if you want greatness, if you want to see these levels of you coming out more and more, you got to start taking time with yourself. You got to start loving yourself. And you no longer have to be defensive. When you love yourself to the core, you don't have to defend your actions. You know why? Because you stand on them. Like Kia said earlier, with no regrets. See, when you know who you are and you make decisions that dictate the person that you are and the place that you're going and who you know yourself to be, you remove all the regrets and you no longer be defensive to people. If somebody say, well, I don't like that about you, you can receive it. And you can say, you know what, that's okay. It's still me. I still love it. You know, as long as it's not offending anybody, as long as it's not hurting anybody, be you. Dare to be different. I'm going to tell you something. In order to stand out, in order to be all you have to be, it takes courage. Courage is doing something that everybody's not doing. Courage is being somebody that maybe people don't think you can be. Courage is being able to stand on your truth and know that I am who I say I am. I'm worth everything I want, and I'm going to walk in this. I love me some me, and I am destined for wealth and greatness. Yes, Kia, that's how you got to see your life. You have to make positive affirmations in your life. You have to make positive decisions for your life. You have to embrace yourself on a level of, I am enough. I choose me. I'm no longer going to give the world excuses of why I'm not worthy. Now, I'm saying in your life, when you get to really know yourself and you really get to embrace who you are, it's like the perfect doctor-patient relationship. You know how you go and the patient is trying to explain to the doctor the different symptoms they're going through, and the doctor tries to take your symptoms, you know, other than the test, and decide, well, if you're dealing with this and you're dealing with that, this is probably the problem. This is probably the problem. Now, when you're dealing with you, if you're loving yourself and acknowledging yourself and embracing yourself, you begin to start the perfect doctor-patient relationship, because you can tell yourself where you're longing to be filled. You can tell yourself what you need. You can spend time with yourself and pour that back into yourself. There is nothing that is leaving you that you can't get back, because you own your life. You own the road you're on. You own your travel. And so if you want things, if you want great things, it starts with you. It begins with the love you pour into yourself. The key to life is mastering your soul. See, deep down inside, there's this little girl, or there's this little boy, or there's this mom, there's this sister. There is somebody deep down inside that needs to just get life again, who needs to resurrect. You need to resurrect that person that you got hidden inside, and you need to love yourself through it by saying, I'm going to love me from where I am today, and I'm going to grow to be better tomorrow because I chose me today. If you don't begin to choose yourself now, you're going to miss out on the best part of yourself. You're going to miss out on the best part of your life. You're going to miss out on the experiences of what it means to know who God created you to be. Do you understand that when you figure that out, you live your best life? You figure out the biggest gift, and life begins to be joy, because you're no longer battling with yourself. You are clear, you are real, and you know where you're going. And so every part about the journey is filled with gratefulness, is filled with joy, because you know that you're living your best life. You know you're on the road to discovering your greatness. Loving yourself freely give notice to others around you, and it commands respect. See, if you want people to love you and respect you, then you got to show respect. You know, if you don't want nobody to treat you like you're less than, then you got to show them that I'm more than who you say I am. You have to demand respect by the way you carry yourself. You see, love enters a room, and if you feel with love, when you enter the room, you can't do nothing but get love back. And those who don't know you will look and say, I wonder who that person is. It's something radiant about it. It's something about them. Because when you walk in with love, love consumes everything. And so that's what I'm saying. I want you to be filled up with love on the inside, so it can begin to pour out of your pores, so it begin to leap out of your soul, and it begin to touch your neighbors. It begin to touch your friends. It begins to change the world, because I am loving me, and in doing so, I have an overflow for you to love you, and so on and so forth. It forces them to acknowledge the energy in which you traveled in. That's what loving yourself does. It forces your neighbors, it forces your friend, it forces people to acknowledge that you are worth what you say you're worth. It then moves and fills up any place in which you move. Like I was saying, if you filled with love and if you got love, then yes, it enters the room before you. It fills the room. It shows people that you are happy to be who you are. And people are going to respect you because you are happy to be where and who you are. Thus, always bringing goodness in your world. If you are leading with love and respect and honor, you will bring goodness in your space. You will bring love in the room. You will always have that around you if that is in you. That which is in you comes out. That which you move around with, you will attract. And so if you're happy, you're going to attract happy people. And if you're joyful, you're going to attract joy. If you're sad, you're going to attract sadness. So I'm saying no longer be sad about where you are. Embrace where you are. Choose yourself now and understand that where you are and who you are is all a part of your journey. It's going to make it great. It's going to make sense when you get to where you're trying to get. That's why I choose me is such an oxymoron when you actually think about it, because I choose me sounds selfish. But what I want you to understand is that when you choose you teach people how to treat you. You walk with this sense of pride and love. You walk with this amazing sense of gratitude. And then everything around you tends to move in the same atmosphere, environment, and the same level of the same love you moving with. Because in loving yourself dearly and truly, it allows you to choose others around you at the same time. And so because I love and I have love filled on and I'm filled up with love, then the people I come in contact with, I'm going to do nothing but pour love into them. They're going to receive it. And no matter what they're going through, it's going to make them remember you. It's going to make them think that maybe if I walked around with that same kind of energy, maybe if I walked around loving myself, maybe I can be what I want to be. Maybe I can say and do how I feel internally on the outside. So let's stop fixing the outside and let's start fixing the inside. That's the best part. That's the part that leads here. That's the part that, you know, is your representation. Your heart is. Your energy is. Your spirit is. That's what people see when you show up. Love is light, good energy. Love is light and it's good energy and there's no room for shade. So if you got love in you and you always pouring it out, then there's no room for darkness in your life. So if you want to keep light around you, you got to show up as the light. If you want darkness around you, then you show up and be dark. But you will receive what you believe you deserve. And until you start believing that you deserve more, you're not going to get more. It's time that you start understanding what your worth is. What I'm saying, because when you're in love with you, you are at your happiest. And when you are happy, you want everyone around you to be happy. And you start to inspire others to be happy. And they do it and so forth and so on. And the world becomes a better place because joy and love fills the atmosphere. And so because I love, I inspire you to love. Because I'm so full of myself and know that I'm everything that God said I am, everything He created me to be. You're going to begin to start saying, you know what? I'm gonna take inventory on me. I'm gonna embrace that I am everything that I say that I am. And I know that I'm worth it, and so I'm gonna love me. You begin to be in authentic relationships in the right circle. See, when you love yourself and you know who you are and you begin to choose yourself, then you will start to be in the right spaces and places to grow, because everybody gets to be their true self, because nobody is making apologies. Everybody is owning that I'm enough, I'm worth it, and you're going to love me because you see that the joy in me is enough to understand that I'm worth everything I say I'm worth. When you love yourself, you already come with a full cup, and so anything else that someone else brings is just extra. I want you to love on yourself in a way that anything somebody else brings to you is definitely extra. Your cup should be overflowing. See, if I'm in love with myself and my cup is full, then when you come into my life, No matter what you do, you're either going to pour good into me and my cup is going to overflow, or you're going to pour nothing into me and I won't lose anything. And so what happens is when the relationship ends, I don't feel like I lost anything. What I would feel is that I gained knowledge. I gained a lesson for tomorrow, and I have no regrets for the time that I took with you, because I didn't allow anybody to fill me up, because I already came filled. So when you leave, it doesn't take anything away from me, because I was already filled when you got here. So it's about being full in yourself so that you can live your best life, and so that you can make authentic decisions in your life. Decisions that don't reflect what you think people want you to say and do, but it reflects who you are. And so it allows you to live your best authentic life. When you love yourself, you already, now follow me, when your cup is full, when people come into your life, they never leave you depleted. So that's what I was just saying. As long as your cup is full, when people walk away from you, you won't be depleted, but you will just embrace the opportunity of learning a lesson to be a better you. Because everything that we are put through is all about our journey, and is only to make us better and to grow us up in such a way. Because what they add makes your cup run over, and if something is full and overruns over, adding extra to people around you. Life, who is close enough to get wet. So like I said, when you have an overflow, when you got an overage of love, whatever falls over, the people around you can feel your cup running over, because you live in a space of joy and a space of peace and a space of knowing you are where you're supposed to be. But if you are not adding and you choose to remove them from your life, you lose nothing. You leave how you came, no hard feelings, no love lost, which is what I was saying. No matter what you go through in life, as long as you know you and love yourself, you will leave the same way you came. And you just take the lesson and move on, and even more prepared for tomorrow, so that whoever you meet on your journey, they too will know what it is to be loved. You have to stop holding people more accountable to you than you. No one will love you deeper than you can love yourself. So at the end of the day, we have to stop allowing other people to be accountable for the joy that we possess in our life. We have to stop holding other people accountable for the mistakes that happen in our life. What we have to do is embrace that we are worthy, and if we love ourselves, we teach people how to love us. So I beg of you to begin to love yourself unconditionally, because like I said, yourself is waiting on you to show up and live the life that is hidden inside. And all it requires is quality time with yourself in order to live your best life, in order to walk in your truth, in order to grow in the level of which you should be, or where you want to be. You have got to spend quality time with yourself. You have got to know yourself. You have got to be willing to come with your peace. You cannot allow life to take away from who you are supposed to be. Kiera is saying we sometimes give people too much power over our lives. Absolutely. We most times give people too much power over our lives. You know why? Because of the expectations. Because we wanna be everything for everybody. We wanna morph into the perfect this and the perfect that and but sometimes that might not be your gift. Maybe what you're morphing into is changing you so much because it's so far from who you were destined to be. And that's why I'm saying, if you love yourself, you will be okay with being honest in every relationship. You will no longer have to make excuses for who you are, but people will love you and embrace you because you're real, you're true, and they know what they're getting. But the reason why we have breakdowns in relationships is because people begin to be who they're not, and then eventually who your true self starts to come out, and you can't hide that, and now you have to make excuses for who you used to be. because that was never you. But if you can love yourself and know that you're worthy for whatever people bring into your life and they have to respect you for who you are, then you get to morph into something even more great and people respect you. And so do they respect the relationship because they see that you know you. And so they respect that your honesty. They respect the way you love yourself. And most importantly, they expect that you know yourself. You got to know yourself for people to love you and embrace you on a level in which you need to be embraced. Now, before we move any further, because we're about to, close now. We're at 9:30. I got of course, my poem for the day. So let me do our poem for the night before we start with the close out with our virtue. And this poem is titled Internal Love. Are you ready to take inventory on what makes you you? Can you accept that the challenges you were meant to go through? You do know that you're special and wonderfully made. And the best pieces of you were the resilience in the shade. Thought the light wasn't on you, refused to wither and die. So the light wasn't on you, you refused to wither and die because there was a voice down inside you which wouldn't let you hide. Hide from the pain that made you so strong. It built up your tolerance so it couldn't have been wrong. Because the journey is yours, every pain was a brick to build your foundation, not for internal pain to inflict. You're so busy crying over the bricks laying around. You miss the whole blessing of the structure profound. The pain of your past are the roots of your tomorrow. And you can't build a life if you're basking in sorrow. You have been made equipped for a journey with only your gain. If only you can I choose me and stay in your lane. Because no one can master or dance to the beat of your drum. So it's time that you recognize that you're worth all the sum. The sum of the value of knowing your worth. Because you have been a treasure since the time of your birth. So love yourself internal and watch how you grow. Since love is the light in which all greatness flows. It's time to love yourself deeply. No more excuses is the road. And only I choose me will lighten your load. And so what I want you to understand that in order to live your best life, in order to possess that internal love that I'm talking about, it's going to require you to do some work. It's going to require you to show up for yourself. It's going to require you to love yourself through your pains, through your disappointments, through whatever it is. It's going to require you to pick up those broken pieces so that you can become whole, because the world needs you. We need your peace. I got this movement going on because I think the world needs everybody's peace. And I feel like we'll be in a better, happier place if everybody could embrace their peace and acknowledge that I'm enough. Who I am is enough. What I have to offer is enough. And what God created me to be is enough. He only made one of you. Only one of you. And so nobody can be you better than you. So it's time that we start to walk in our light, to walk in our truth, to walk in our purpose, so that we can all begin to support one another and live our best life. To go on this journey together of knowing that you're worth everything that I say you were. So until you see that, and even if you're tuning in and you see it, because I see some very amazing, powerful messages coming across the screen, I'm glad to know that everybody is loving themselves. They are embracing the I Choose Me movement. I'm thanking you for tuning in every week. It means so much to me. This is a vision I have for a long time. And so I'm just grateful to share this moment and these Tuesday nights with you. At this time, we're going to end with our motto. And if you're in your house and you know it, I hope you're shouting it out loud. But our motto is, I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow. And so that's what I want everybody to do moving forward on this week. Love yourself first. Make positive affirmations daily to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, and if you don't have anything positive to say the motto. Start to say that to yourself. Well, what I want to say now is that I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the I Choose Me Tuesday night movement. And I look forward to next week. And I just want to say, I choose me. No more excuses. I'm enough. Teach people how to treat you. And if you're ready for the best life has to offer, you have to give yourself the best life has to offer. It begins with you. You cannot give more to anybody else than you are willing or capable to give to yourself. Make sure your cup begins to fill up so that you may too run over. Love you. Appreciate you. And again, I say, I choose me, you choose you, and we'll meet back again next Tuesday. Thank you. Love you too. Mwah. Still, I have these issues. Bear with me. You're welcome, honey.